Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a rundown, looking at the charts through various Bitcoin mining stocks. We're talking about Mara, RIOT CLSK, CIFR WULF, Bit Digital, Bitfarms, Iris Energy, and Core Scientific. So starting off with fear and greed, as you can see on CNN, we are still up in greed, and on pie vesting, we are getting close to extreme greed. So pie vesting, I like this one a little bit more. It is showing that we are in extreme greed right now, so do be cautious. And on the crypto fear and greed index, there's a couple ways you can look at this. Recently, we did get up back into greed. Gotta love all these random advertisements by Temu for an emotional pain chart and these masks and this cool watch. Awesome. So a couple ways to look at this chart. One, recently when I got back from my vacation, we talked about how we were in extreme fear. It's the lowest fear has ever been. Said extreme fear tends to be good times to dollar cost average in. Now here on this channel, I try to preach for an investment mindset or even trade vesting when it comes to crypto, because we're not looking to trade, YOLO in our life savings, gamble with leverage, any of that. All I'm trying to do here, guys, is to help you find better value times for your hard-earned money investments. And with crypto, because it is so volatile, show you indicators and charts as to when are better value times to buy and when might be better value times to sell. So recently, we were in extreme fear, possible really good value buying zone. But as you can see overall, even as we've come back up into greed, I am concerned about this minor downtrend. Are we going to roll over sometime? A couple reasons I think that is possible. I'm not trying to predict here, but a couple things I'm worried about. And that is, since the year 2000, we can go back every single year. We can just even take a look on the S&P. Later in the year, I'm talking from August to October, you can see the dates at the bottom of the screen. We're going to go on a little trip here. August to October can sometimes be negative times in the market. You can see 22, August to October, negative time in the market. Let's go back to 21. September, October, kind of sideways, but still not great. Of course, that was COVID. And let's see, October, you can see sideways, August to October. So, and then 18, September, October. So October really fell off. It was a little bit later that year. And then 17, let's just do one more. 17, a little bit more bullish here. So this was one time where we did run up. It's not going to be 100%. 16, look, October, rolling over. So I know there's this whole narrative of sell in May, go away. But overall, I was just going back through the years, and it does seem to be that sometimes we can have even more volatile times coming up in the later part of the year through October. So just not saying it has to happen. Seasonality isn't always 100%, but do keep an eye out for that. And especially because the election's coming up this year in about 3-4 months. That should probably increase the volatility in the markets, I would guess. We will see. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Maybe there's going to be some better prices coming up around the corner. We'll see. So a bullish way to look at this fear and greed chart, and I will get to the miners here in a minute, is that we have this very strong base. We have not been way down into extreme fear like we were in the big sell-off after the double top, or when Bitcoin retraced over 50%, the COVID crash, all that, of course. So you can see that right here. Here were the extreme fear times, and even up here. So hopefully we still stay up in the neutral or greed and have higher to go, 100K Bitcoin, 150K Bitcoin, and that can positively affect the Bitcoin miners. Because we are talking about Bitcoin mining stocks, it is important to know they are highly correlated with the price action of Bitcoin. And so when Bitcoin goes up, and eventually when the altcoins go up, as they've done before, when altcoins run, and we have this alt season index chart, That tends to be a good thing for mining stocks too. So let's take a quick look at Bitcoin, then we'll get into the mining stocks. Bitcoin, we are in this parallel channel going slightly down. I am curious to see, one, what it's going to do on this trend line that Bitcoin has been in love with since the very bottom. As you can see, all these times it dipped, on this trend line, it came back up to it, rode it up. It's in love with this trend line. You got to admit. Now, trend lines only good for as long as they're good for. So I'm curious if it's just going to ride it up, maybe hit the top of this channel, come back down. If it breaks above that channel, I think that's going to be very good and bullish for Bitcoin. But we got to watch and see what happens. Let's first start off with Marathon Digital Holdings. And zooming out, you can see it had a pretty good, was this about 4 days worth of movements, and Marathon from those moving averages on the daily moved up about 34%. So it was at around $20 and now has come up to 26 bucks, and it has a market cap of 7 billion. So when you're thinking of possible price predictions, do keep the market cap in mind. A lot of people ignore market cap or think it's just an imaginary number. Now, the way I draw fibs with this Fibonacci retracement, I go from the prior high to the next low, draw it downward like that. And of course, you want to make sure that your fibs, when you're looking at price in between, is on log scale. If you want to look at possible price predictions, take it off log scale. And here are some of the Fibonacci extensions. So something around a 10x, at least from where it was. We've talked about this maybe being a possible like highest peak scenario. That would mean it would have somewhere like a $70 billion market cap. Now, when I say that, I know it sounds unbelievable, but sometimes this is what crypto does, or at least the last 2 cycles. It can spike up into a huge market cap and then obviously come back down to earth. And after it does come back down, I mean, look at these corrections. It can be about a 90+% correction for a lot of altcoins and a lot of these assets. So even if you're targeting way up here, I would recommend, of course, nothing here is financial advice, but make sure you have a plan. Literally write down your plan. So when you're excited, you're emotional, you're feeling greedy, you will follow your plan to a T instead of waiting to the very last minute, hoping it's going to get to 213 and it only gets to 210 and settles off. So make sure you write down a plan of what you're going to do. Maybe scale out a little bit with profits on the way up. If you believe that, you know, this mining stock is going to be volatile as it has been before, make your own plan on how you will handle prices if they go up. So something to consider. Let's put this back on log scale, and then we'll take a look at the weekly where price looks like it's going, and then move on to RIOT. So weekly, we'll stretch it out there. I did like how we were slowly going up with the moving averages. I said that looks like a lot of great support, plus we had the 0.5 for the fib. Now this is key because Mara has been here twice before. Okay, it's been here twice, even closed above for a couple weeks and came down. So the 618 fib, are we going to get another little spike and then come back down to the 17 buck range, or are we getting ready to blast up and go even higher? So key area here for Mara, and hopefully for any of you Mara holders, it might go up even more and hold this 618. As you can see here, we also have a weekly buy signal as well, and why wouldn't we? I mean, take a look at that move. So yeah, when it was at these moving averages, decent time the dollar cost average in. So yeah, Mara overall looking pretty good. Let's go over to RIOT platforms. And RIOT, a couple of things I want you guys to note here. One, you know, I drew a trend line way back here, just when it's had those peaks, and you can look at the dates at the bottom. This has been correlated with alt season, okay? Mid-December 2017, February of 21. If you guys don't believe me, I can show you. Look at this, December 2017, around February 21. February to April was around alt season last time. Now, different things peaked at different times. So, you know, is this one going to run early, later? We'll see. But overall, you know, if you were to follow that trend line, you'd be making a price prediction somewhere around 150, which is over a 10x. Can that happen? I hope so. Will it? There's no guarantees. So recently we did have this trend line. We drew this way back here and it broke underneath it. But it kept coming up to this 382 fib. Yep, the 382 fib at around 11 and has now made a move to get back up to that trend line. So possible any of you buyers here were able to get some good value. Next thing we're looking for RIOT. Excuse me, let me hydrate. Would be this area here around 16 at that 0.5 fib. Zooming out, something we got to recognize here is that the 100 and the 200 week moving averages, those are these blue lines, light blue is 100, dark blue is 200, are acting as resistance right now. So we do want to see it close above. That is a nice candle. The one thing that does concern me is just the wicks. So strong wick above. Would like to see this really start continuing to move upwards. Get above this trend line with a close. Get above these resistance moving averages. If it does, I think that's going to look good in the meantime for RIOT. So we'll see. We'll see for RIOT. But overall, not the worst value. Made a good strong move. But now it has to get past these moving averages and stay above them. Right now, we're at 12.5 bucks. So if we're able to close somewhere up here, that's going to be a really good thing. Next, let's go to CleanSpark. And guys, if you hold any of these Bitcoin mining stocks, comment below which of these mining stocks do you like. Because a mining stock looks like it has a good chart doesn't always mean it's a great mining stock. So you do want to do your research, of course. I could have sworn I had a chart drawn out. Well, I guess I'll just have to redraw it again. I guess I deleted it. So here we have CleanSpark. Let's just draw a fib here from the 21 highs to the 23 lows. Yeah, that was early in 21, close enough. And as you can see here, CleanSpark getting up to that 786 at around 21 bucks. If it gets above there, then we're going to be taking a look at testing those all-time highs on the weekly. It is above those moving averages. And something else to note with charts, guys, when we take a look at something like CleanSpark compared to other mining stocks that we're going to look at in this video, is that you'll notice this one looks stronger. The movements have been stronger. It tends to be a good thing because there's more volume in it. People are paying attention. They're putting their money into it. They like it. Not that you can't get great value out of the stocks or altcoins that are down here, but it won't be as likely. So yes, this looks overvalued in one sense compared to other charts. And it also means that people like this asset enough to keep putting money into it. So you don't want to miss out either in some of these stronger stocks. You don't get as much of a window. So right here has been accumulating, consolidating for a little bit. If it were to come back down, you can see it's chopping up and down. We got this 618 fib and all these moving averages here at around 13 bucks. So if it did have a correction around 13 bucks, and if you like CleanSpark, probably wouldn't be the worst area to get some value. But yeah, next it's got to hold this $21, $22 range. You can see on the way down, spiked up there before, and we've tested it. Now we got to make this fib into support and not resistance. So it keeps trying. We'll see if it can eventually break through in the near future. Next, let's go to CIFR mining. And CIFR mining, I've been talking about how I like the look of this chart because how it's slowly grinding up. It doesn't look like it has a lot of weakness in there and is possibly getting ready to take off. So you can see with CIFR, it wicked above the 786 at around 7 bucks. So hopefully it can get above and stay above. The prior all-time high is somewhere around 15. So, and I know I talk about this every week, but it's worth noting, and that is, look when CIFR came out, December of 2020. If you don't know what was going on December of 2020, Bitcoin was into new all-time high territory. And after it did, you can see on the right, CIFR was around 10 bucks, got up to around 15, and then of course, that was the end of that cycle run, came down around 97%. The reason I bring this up, it's not to knock CIFR this time around. This time around, I think it has a lot of potential, more than when it just came out. The reason I bring this up is, guys, be careful of new Bitcoin mining stocks, new altcoins that come out. I have a rule with IPOs, new altcoins, new Bitcoin miners. I like to wait at least a year or two because I've seen too often, especially when they come out near the peaks, that these things can just tank. So if you do like any new projects and you're able to get some profits out of them, maybe worth considering getting your initial investment back plus some extra just in case this is to happen. Because as I've shown you guys in a lot of these videos, the crypto cycles, they don't last forever. They don't stay up there forever. So, maybe one day that'll change, but history is showing that's not what it typically does. So, CIFR, we've talked about this one enough. Got to get and hold that $7 level. All right, next, let's go to TeraWulf. I know a few of you guys in the comments love talking about TeraWulf. This is one where, as far as the chart, there were a couple things I liked. I know I'm going to butcher some of these trend lines here, and maybe we have to take it off log. No, that's not going to help. But overall, when this thing was breaking down and we had these trend lines drawn, it did, at least to my eyes, look like it was curling up when it was getting through this area. So, I was wondering if TeraWulf was getting ready for a bigger move after being down here so long. Down here, this doesn't look great. It spiked up with other altcoins like Solana, like Chainlink, had similar movements as it did right here. But then it came down pretty bad. Obviously, we formed this wedge, and as things tightened up in the wedge, it broke out. So, TeraWulf, we've been talking about it since back here, and one thing I've noted is that, look at the all-time high that it's had, around 43, 44 bucks. We've been talking about this thing since it's been $1.50, and how this may have over 20x potential. Well, it did. Right now, it's at 6, obviously, so this would be a 7x just to get back to the all-time high. Doesn't mean it can't get higher, and it only has a $2 billion market cap. So, again, guys, consider market cap when you're thinking of your price predictions, when you're looking at the fib, the way I showed you with Mara. If this 7x is, that means you do 7 times 2, it has a $14 billion market cap. Now, market cap isn't just some magical number that can go up forever. You can think, well, NVIDIA has a $3 trillion market cap. Why can't this thing, go to the moon and then some? You have to temper your expectations when you have these lower level altcoins or Bitcoin miners. Could they possibly 20x, 50x? Sure. Those are really hard to find. It's not typical. So, please make a plan. At least get your ROI, your return on investment, and have a plan as to when you might take profits. Maybe take certain percentages. I don't want to tell you. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do because nothing here is financial advice. But what I can tell you is I've seen people in the last couple cycles, including myself in here, hold on way too long and not get amazing profits that they could have gone. Now, I've gotten profits, really good profits last 2 cycles, but I could have had better profits in 2017. So take it from me. I'm trying to pass on some of the lessons that I learned to you guys if you are new to crypto. And that is, when there's greed in the market, your emotions are going to tell you to keep holding on, that it's going to last forever. Make a plan now while you're feeling calm, while you are objective and unbiased, because if we get another alt season and things go parabolic, if all of a sudden a few months from now this thing spikes up to something like $80, I know some of you Wolf holders, or for any altcoin, for any miner, you're going to keep holding. You're going to be like, this thing might keep going. Guys, those are the times to sell. When everyone is flooding into the market, when retail is flooding in, when your friends, when your family are talking about it, those are the times to take profits, okay? Again, not financial advice. You do you. And if you believe it can go on forever, God bless you. I wish you the best, but that has not been what's happened in the past, so do keep that in mind. All right, rant over, but not really a rant. I'm just trying to help you guys here. You can see on the weekly, this is good news. It's big news. Terra Wolf not only got above the 0.5, look at this, guys. It might be making the 200-week moving average into support. That would be a huge deal if Terra Wolf can hold above this $5 level. So that'd be great if it does, but if it does have any sort of correction, you could watch for this trend line we had from this wedge, as well as the 382. If it did have a flush down, sometimes this happens where when an asset breaks down, it retests and then goes higher. Where's the drawing tool right over here? So it could do something like that. We'll see. I've seen that happen before, but it's possible it just only comes down to the 100 and then keeps going. So watch the price action. Terra Wolf, things are looking really good. So congrats to everyone here who does have some and who has been buying into it since it was around $2. Got to be feeling good right now. Bit Digital, another one that is at the 200-week moving average. Now, there's many different types of chart analysts all over YouTube. You get people who, they look for shapes, they look for waves. I try to be more, I don't want to say simple-minded, but not overthink the market. I think we can sometimes get too much into the weeds, we're talking about head and shoulders, wave counts, all that stuff. Sometimes we just need to simplify it, whether it's by the fib, whether it's by the moving averages. And the moving averages, for me, and these buy-sell signals are the simplest way to share just my assessment on where things are going. I know there's more complex ways, and if you learn those, good on you. I know some of those things too, but I don't always see it play out like people hope it will. But anyways, the reason I bring that up is, let's watch what the price action does here, because if it does form a head and shoulders, rolls over right here, we could see this thing drop down to around $1. But inversely, this might be getting ready to break out. We got the 0.5 to 200, and if it starts just blasting off, that'd be great. This is do or die time for Bit Digital. That's a little dramatic. It's not do or die time, but this is an important time for Bit Digital, and hopefully, look at this 0.5. It's tested it once, twice before. We gotta turn this into support. Okay, so the 200-week moving average and the 0.5, we are at a critical time. How about that? It's not do or die. Critical time. Hopefully it can stay up here, start making consistent closes above this 420 range. Smoke them if you got them. And we'll see what happens with Bit Digital. Let's see. Bitfarms, did I talk about that one yet? I don't think so. Bitfarms. So like we were just talking about with the moving averages, you can take a look at Bitfarms, how it turned the 200 from resistance into support, fell underneath it, but it had this trend line, got launched back up. But like Bit Digital, Bitfarms here, this one's struggling with this fib, the 618. So it's got to turn this 618 fib into support right here at around $3. We'll see if it happens, but overall, this trend line, it's been honoring it. If it does come back down, maybe you can look for value around the low $2 range for Bitfarms. So overall, still honoring that trend line. If it does get underneath it, kind of like we showed with, what was that, RIOT? I believe it was RIOT. Then you'd be looking for price support here at around $1.30. So yeah, that's what we got for Bitfarms. Actually, let's look at its prior all-time highs, around $10. So a little bit over a 3x here. To return to prior all-time highs, has a market cap of $1.2 billion. All right, We have a couple more, IREN and CORZ. I know there's some CORZ fans out here. All right, IREN, Iris Energy Limited. This thing has been going on quite a tear recently. Look at all these green weeks in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've heard about this rule of 10 thing before. I think Tesla recently, with the price action it's had, it came up because when an asset has 10 straight green weeks, you got to be careful. And of course, you got a sell signal right after it 10. If this thing is to come back down to earth a little bit, you can take a look at this fib at around $8. This trend line here, you know, high $6 range. We'll see. We can already tell it broke out of that. Come on now. Why is it not deleting? Oh, sorry. I know why. There we go. Like, what is going on? I'm clicking on the damn thing. All right, so yeah, those would be some price targets to look for. But inversely, you know, if this thing is to have a little turnaround and get bullish again, you know, this $27 level, if it breaks above that, to the moon you go. $2.2 billion market cap. Showed you guys how you can look for some price targets. Take your fib, take it off log. Okay, this is for some of these extensions. And so right now we're at 12. If it were to get to, you know, somewhere around the 4236, do a 10x, you know, get to 115, that'd be over a 10x, of course. But we're just going to use round numbers here, you know, over a $22 billion market cap. Can it get there? I don't know. We'll see. But these would be some price targets to look for. 44, 71, 98, 115. And do keep in mind, guys, you know, I draw my fibs as best I can. They're not super accurate when you go to the smaller time frames. So there could be even more accurate numbers out there. So please don't wait for those numbers exactly. Go on tradingview.com, type these in, draw your own fibs, do your own research, make your own predictions. All right, let's finish off with Core Scientific. And, you know, you guys, a couple of you have commented about this one as a $2 billion market cap. It's at almost $12 right now. You know, I'm following my plan. No matter how good the research looks, I'm not going to put into this one yet. I'm going to wait for this crypto cycle to play out. Now, could that bite me? Sure, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. And the reason why is all too many times late in the cycle is we were getting, you know, past prior all-time highs and near the peaks, you know, here and here. I've seen a lot of promising projects. Some, you know, where the altcoins are looking great right now, to be honest. But back here, you know, when it's looking great, they could fall off. As I showed you with, what was that, CIFR, that they can fall off 95% plus. So, you know, it's a new altcoin. I don't want to catch a falling knife just in case the people who do have this, who do own it, all of a sudden just start dumping on everyone's faces and unloading their bags. So I am being careful. I'm staying away. But overall, you know, this thing is, you know, it's looking pretty bullish. And as far as green weeks up, I mean, take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know, so 3 months straight up. You know, are you early? Maybe, you know, but I refuse to FOMO. That's fear of missing out. I'm not going to FOMO into something, you know, even if this thing is going to go up to 100. Who's to say? I'm being careful. But if you are in Core Scientific, I hope it works out well for you. I hope this thing does go to 100, 200, and beyond. But do your own research. So anyways, we are nearing 30 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, comment below which altcoins, or not altcoins, which Bitcoin mining stocks out of the ones we talked about today, which ones are you the biggest fans of? You know, comment 1 or 2 below. You know, it's possible. Again, keep in mind the fear and greed. It is possible. Maybe we're getting towards a minor downtrend. Maybe things are going to get volatile into the election, and then we're going to truly blast off to the next cycle top. I don't know. That's a thought that keeps playing up in my head as to what might happen. But who knows? Maybe things could happen earlier than that this time. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Take care.